What is up? It's CMZ News here, back for another recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It has been a minute. It's been like 4 or 5 episodes actually. I think I have been so busy with work and with my daughter and my husband, but I am back. I have been seriously chomping at the bit because so much has been happening in the world of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, not just on this show, but online. It has been insane. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would see that I've been like tweeting and posting like crazy because I am just like, it's been so much. It's actually been really juicy. It's given me a lot of life. Okay. So this last episode, I am back. It's episode 9. This is a 22 episode season. We still haven't even gotten to Kathy Hilton stuff. So I feel like, you know what? I'm just hopping back in to start recapping. So this was the Calamity Jane episode. Okay. This is like off the hills of, oh, you need a new villain? Here I am. Okay, Diana. Listen, I missed so much. So much has been going on. We've had drama with Crystal and the word dark being used with Sutton. We had Lois pass away, R.I.P. We had them go to Mexico. Erica acted a straight fool in Mexico, drunk on the boat. Then we had the big blow up at Mexico at the dinner with Diana and Sutton. And then the drama with the plane ride. You can't sit with us and all that stuff. And now we are back in Beverly Hills, and we are ready to celebrate Garcelle's, the beautiful Garcelle's 55th birthday party. So I'm looking at my notes over here. The episode starts out with us coming off the hills of Garcelle's party. It's wrapping up. It's the end of the party, and Sutton and Diana are talking, and you've got Diana smirking the whole time, like just really smirking while Sutton is talking to her and like trying to relate to her and telling her, you know, Diana, I know you've been through so much, because that's another thing. Diana, as we know, has a baby. She's like 49 and gave birth to a baby. And she had recently shared with the girls that she had had a miscarriage. She sent the previous episode this long message about, you know, just the difficulties of experiencing, you know, such a loss, and that her body is just is tired. She's been traveling, she's been dealing with this girls drinking more, and she just needs to rest, which is like very understandable. And Sutton, you know, she ends up coming to the party anyway. So Sutton sits down, you know, with her, and I think the previous scene, Sutton starts up with her like, so you were on bed rest, And Diana's like, yeah, I was on bed rest, but I'm here, you know. So they start talking. Sutton is trying so hard to relate to freaking Diana. Diana wants nothing to do with her. And for whatever reason, Kyle decides that she's going to join this conversation. Now, I know what the reason is. They were drunk as hell. Sutton is drunk as hell. Kyle is drunk, honey. She was doing the splits. She had that thing on the floor. She was mopping the floor with her, you know what. Like, Kyle was out of control. Mauricio definitely should have cut her off. But anyway, Sutton is trying to relate to Diana because she's like, listen, I've lost 2 babies as well, and I've had a miscarriage. And Kyle's drunk self is like, hold on, what? I never heard this before. And Sutton's like, okay, like I haven't told y'all. Mind you, they are so drunk again. Kyle is putting her hands on Sutton, like, I mean, very forcefully. Sutton has marks if you look at the scene again. She's like, well, out of the blue, you're saying that. Sutton goes back to start talking to Diana. Diana starts telling her, listen, I think you're fake, you're phony. And again, she's literally smiling. Sutton's like, you think this is fake? Like, I'm trying to talk to you. She puts her hand on her. Diana's like, don't touch me. I'm Bosnian. Don't touch me, you know? And Sutton then snaps and is like, you know, you're soulless, you're a motherfucker, and all this stuff. Kyle puts her hands back on Sutton and is like, you can't talk to her like that. You can't speak to her like that. She's like, you know, maybe you lost a baby. I don't know. You know, but you're acting crazy, and basically telling Sutton that like she needs to stop, and her, you know, Sutton's doing her waterworks and is crying and all this. And Sutton tells Diana, you know, you're looking at me like I'm the devil. And Diana's like, well, maybe you are, you know. And I don't know. I found the whole scene was really revved up with alcohol. Sutton is so drunk. Kyle is so drunk. Diana wasn't drunk. I think Diana was herself the whole scene. She wants nothing to do with Sutton. She doesn't like her. She doesn't trust her. She thinks she's fake. I personally think Sutton really was trying to relate to her, saying, hey, you know, I've gone through this too. Just like when on the previous episode on the boat, when Sutton was trying to tell Diana, you know what, when I lost my dad, you know, I can relate to that. For whatever reason, the way Sutton communicates with Diana, it's just not translating for her. And when she hears Sutton talk, you know, basically, you know, Diana wants to fight her. She mentioned she would headbutt her and, you know, all these various things. So Kyle, you know, storms off because at the end of this conversation, they hug it out. Kyle's like, oh, this is so fake, and leaves. And I'm like, you know, Kyle, what do you want to see? Do you want to see Diana headbutt her? Like, what is it that what resolution would you like? You want to just continue to berate Sutton for Diana, who you basically have essentially just met? Like, you're also rich, Kyle. You don't necessarily need Diana's influence. Like, what is your motivation for being so up Diana's butt all of a sudden, you know? So they go back and sit down. Kyle goes and sits back down with Garcelle and the rest of the girls. Sutton ends up leaving. Diana leaves as well. Garcelle and the rest of the girls are sitting down, and Erica, you know, we're getting back into drunk Erica. Erica is all, Garcelle, where's your hot son? And I thought that was cute. And Garcelle kind of laughs. And, you know, she starts hitting on Oliver, okay? It's super cringy. If I was Erica, I'd be like, oh my God. Like, man, I was like embarrassed myself, you know? Because she's being forward. She's letting Oliver know, basically, he can hit it. Like, she's DTF. She's cringy. I also kind of didn't like some of the things she said. You know, she's asking him if he's married, which in the moment she may have not remembered that, like, yes, Oliver is married. He married a woman who had 3 children. He has a baby with her as well. He's a father to 4. She's been on the show. Like, Garcelle has talked about this, you know, and Erica's calling her his baby mama. Well, why don't you tell your baby mama to contact me in my DMs? First of all, honey, this isn't his baby mama. This is his wife. Put some whole ass respect on her name. Let's stop with the slang. You know, I just didn't like it. Like, this isn't his baby mama. This is his wife. Oliver, though, you could tell he was a little uncomfortable. He kind of was playing with it or whatever, but he was very, I think, respectful for the whole situation. I'm sure his wife is probably like side-eyeing Erica Jane now, whatever. Oliver's not allowed to go to any events with Erica there, I'm sure, but, you know, it was fine. So they end up leaving. Oliver shuts her down. The party is wrapping up, okay? So they're all cleaning up everything as you do at the end of a party that has, you know, beautiful florals and arrangements and things. And Crystal is like, hey, you know, Garcelle, do you want your flowers? And Garcelle's like, yeah, you know. Garcelle's at the door, kind of saying goodbye to everybody. So Crystal, along with Garcelle's twin, one of her twins, Jax, who's 14, comes to get his flowers. At this point, it's just Erica and Dorit sitting down. Girl, Erica is like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm grabbing the flowers. He's like, she goes, get the fuck out of here. Get out. Fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. Go. Get out. Crystal's like, what? She's like, okay, don't listen to this. Like, you know, she's talking crazy. Dorit is like, in her confessional, I'm mortified. But she just, you know, kind of laughs it off. I actually think Dorit handled it well. Because, you know, Erica's clearly drunk, okay? Jax tells his mama, straight up tells his mom, like, I was trying to get the flowers. And, like, he's like literally talking like that. And she tells Garcelle, like, she told me to fuck off. And Garcelle said, what? What? Erica said that to you? That's not okay. So Garcelle, you know, she's so dignified. She goes back in there. She goes, hey, Erica, you really hurt Jax's feelings. Like, and Erica's like, what? Wait, are you serious, Garcelle? Like, she's so slow. She doesn't know what she said. And Garcelle's like, yeah, you know, that's not cool. Like, don't talk to him like that, you know? And Erica's like, come here, babe. Come here. Let me talk to you. Garcelle walks out. Listen, Erica was drunk as a skunk. I do believe she was drunk. You do not talk to someone's child like that. You don't talk to your own kids like that, you know, but like, we all know what Erica did when Eileen even like did a hypothetical about her child. She flipped the freak out. Probably one of the first times the Ice Queen, at that time she was still very Ice Queen, showed some emotion and was like ready to cut Eileen for even suggesting something happened to her grown ass son, who's a whole ass police officer that we've never seen on this show. So we don't even know really what she's like as a mom, but she was very disrespectful to both of Garcelle's kids. Garcelle handled it well, though. I think, I saw online, people were like, oh, if this had been Atlanta, if this had been, listen, not every Black woman reacts in a certain way that you think is this demonstrative, cursing you out. Like, that's not everybody, okay? She was dealing with a very drunk person. Garcelle herself had alcohol. Her children were all there. At the end of the day, those are her babies. And you know what? She handled it appropriately. She checked her. She told her very gracefully, listen, knock it off. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you're not going to talk to my kid like that. And she's going to handle it with her later. And we definitely know that she will. So that ended. The next day, let's see. Let me get to my notes, honey. So, the morning after, we get Garcelle at the reel, which I actually feel like they've shown her a couple times at work, but I kind of like seeing a little bit more behind the scenes of her, like doing her hair, doing her wigs, like all that stuff with Robert, getting her hair and makeup done, and they're talking about the night before. And then we flash over to Crystal in self-defense class with Dorit, who wants to be able to protect herself. Dorit is still reeling from the robbery. Listen, I know I missed several episodes, honey, but we're on episode 9 and we are still on Dorit's robbery. I don't mean to be insensitive, okay? I don't not think that happened, but Dorit doesn't have much of a storyline. Honestly, none of the girls do, for the most part, with the exception of like Erica, really, or the people who've decided their storyline is attacking Sutton. So with that said, Dorit, is really trying to hold on to this robbery storyline because the word on the street was that Dorit was going to be a friend of or canceled if she doesn't bring it this season. So she's got this robbery, so she's going to ride that out. And again, I'm sure when you go through something traumatic like that, and I definitely don't want to find out. There is a process with that. So they do the self-defense class. It was very encouraging, and they talk about it. And Dorit says she feels the trauma, like literally in her blood. So I really hope she continues to get help with that. We go over to Kyle and Sutton, who are now at dinner. Okay, they're discussing the conversation that they had with Diana, and Sutton is basically telling Kyle, like, first of all, you rolled in here not even knowing what we were talking about. You just inserted yourself into this, as Kyle likes to do, and you didn't even know what was happening. And Kyle was like, well, I found that some of your behavior was odd, and they begin bickering. Sutton is explaining to Kyle, like, you didn't know what you were stepping into. Kyle's like, well, I'm trying to apologize. And she's like explaining this and that. And it's like, Kyle, you're actually not apologizing. You are explaining. You are defending Diana so hard, saying that, you had never heard that she'd had a miscarriage, but I didn't really think you didn't, right? No, actually, Kyle, you were rude as hell. You were rude, you were disrespectful, you were also very drunk, but you were so rude and disrespectful. Like, it doesn't matter if Sutton's miscarriages were 20 years ago. That could be something that was so traumatic for her. She might have wanted those her other 2 babies so much. Like, you don't know what her situation was. Kyle is wrong as hell. Kyle, I don't know who she thinks she is, honestly, but like, her apology was just as poor as the apology that I feel like she gave online about the whole party situation that I know we've all seen by now. But moving forward, they wrap up. They say, I adore you. Sutton tells her, how much I adore you. And I just want to like also remind, this is somebody who rented Kyle's other house that she loved so much for a couple of years. Sutton has been a good friend to Kyle. They've been friends. And Kyle is a snake, you guys. Like, seriously, how do you not see it? Kyle is a freaking snake. She is so willing to just be on Diana's side. Like, who is Diana? Why are you writing so hard for her? Like, why are you writing so hard for her? It's bizarre. So anyway, we get to the Thanksgiving scene at Kyle's house. She's cooking and with her hair all down. I'm sure her dogs are all in her food because this girl doesn't, got all this money, honey, but can't get these dogs trained. So she's cooking. Anyway, Maurizio's there. They're talking about how Farrah's boyfriend is going to be coming. and or her fiance, excuse me, let me put a little respect, her fiance, and they're just like, our family's growing, and it's gonna grow and grow. Kyle can't wait to be a grandmother. Listen, I love Kyle as a mom and as a wife on the show. I think that she has, of all of the housewives, I like her situation. Regardless of the rumors about what Maurizio be doing on the low, whatever, none of my business, okay? That's not on the show. I like Kyle as that. I think she's gonna be an excellent grandmother, okay? We get a scene with Garcelle and Crystal. They're at doing I think it was the LA mission, feeding the less fortunate for Thanksgiving. All their kids are there. Garcelle said her kids have been doing this since they were 5. And it's just obviously like, it's something I've always wanted to do too. So it was really nice to get a glimpse of that. We get a really nice little montage of everybody's Thanksgiving. We get to finally see Kathy 9 episodes in, and we freaking see Kathy and Rick. It's their anniversary. I don't remember what actual date Thanksgiving was last year, but obviously they got married in late November, 40 years ago. And then we get a glimpse of Teddy. Teddy was there, freaking Kyle's best friend. Then we go, and we are now done with Thanksgiving holiday, and we are back with Rinna and Diana. Okay, so Rinna, we are 20 minutes into this episode. She wasn't in the episode the night before because Harry had that performance, so she wasn't even at Garcelle's party. I didn't miss her. I did not miss Lisa Rinna not being in this episode, you guys. I'm sorry, I didn't. 20 minutes of this episode, Rinna's an OG. She wasn't missed, babe. She wasn't. I didn't miss her. But she shows up to Diana, and they're catching up about the holidays, and we get some clips of Diana's cute little baby, and we talk a little bit about how she's grieving, Rinna is grieving over Lois and how she's handling that. And then, of course, we get to the tea about the party. And Diana is, recounting how the party was. She said, listen, the party itself was fun. She thought, but, from Diana's perspective, she felt that her interactions with Sutton trying to relate to her are like a gambling, like a checkmate. Like, oh, well, you had a miscarriage. Well, I've had 2. Oh, well, you lost your brother. Well, my father did, and when Diana put it like that, I said, okay, I can understand that the way Sutton is trying to relate to you just doesn't come off genuine. She just isn't feeling her, and she tells Rinna how Sutton basically called her soulless and called her MFer, and I'm thinking, okay, well, did you not tell them how you actually told Garcelle the episode before, oh, what, do you want to take a swing on me? Which I thought was very like, why the F would Garcelle be swinging on you, okay? And then you tell, oh, do you want me to headbutt you? Oh, that's how Bosnia, okay, I get it, Diana, you can fight. Like, hit me then, fight me. Anyway, so they don't talk, she don't tell all that. But Rinna, oh, that is not okay. That is not gonna fly with me if I see that behavior. Are you her fucking mom? Are you her big sister? I know, like, why? What do you mean it's not gonna fly with you if you see that behavior? Because all of your behavior does not fly with me, Rinna. Your behavior is atrocious. Your behavior is crazy. Like, you really have a whole lot of nerve talking about somebody's damn behavior. Anyway, so back at Kyle, PK's and Maurizio. Okay, now this is what literally has made headlines. This has made headlines. Rinna made headlines. Rinna made some tweets. She got Dubai up in it. This has been crazy. Rinna, Diana, and Kyle. It's been crazy. So I feel like that is a whole other post about the tweets and responding to that stuff. But we get the scene where Maurizio, Kyle, and PK and Dorit are all getting together. These people are good friends, okay? They come over, and to be honest with you, like, I like their dynamics together. I love the boys, Maurizio and PK. The only other show really that has the guys like this is Jersey, where they get their own scenes and they're contracted even, but PK and Maurizio, they have a really good vibe with each other, okay? They're funny. I don't find PK like particularly attractive, but I feel like he's definitely, like, I see something there, like, oh, he's kind of charming, when he's talking, right? minus some of his creep behavior early in the season, but we're gonna let that slide. That also was brought up at the party last week. Anyway, by Erica, drunk Erica. But they start talking about, Kyle and Dorit have another talk about the robbery, and Dorit wants to move, and Kyle shares that, when she had her robbery and all her stuff got stolen, which I 100% believe happened, that she wanted to move as well. We got another screenshot of Teddy from a flashback, and it's interesting because we all know that supposedly Teddy's husband, Edwin, did everybody's security system and everybody got robbed, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, so they're all now talking together. The husbands joined Dorit and Kyle, and they're like, Kyle's like, oh, you guys, like, did you hear that Erica told Dorit's Garcelle's son to fuck off? What? Oh my gosh, they're laughing. Marito's like, oh, I love that she said that to him. And PK is like, she's entitled to 2 blowouts. And Dorit even says, I was sitting there and, it was so not like Erica, and it's not my child, of course. And I don't think she meant like, it's not my child, I don't care. I think she just meant like, like, of course it's not my kid, to say how Garcelle should react or not. I think she was just explaining. But, they have this whole scene. We've all seen it by now multiple times because they gave us so many sneak peeks in Sunday. But you know what? It was not a good look. Them laughing. Honestly, if that would have been Portia, that Garcelle had said, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you doing? Go, get the fuck out. If Garcelle had said that to precious Portia, or if PK had hit on 30-year-old Farrah and said, hey, let's have a threesome with your fiance, would they be laughing about that? Because PK was like, well, she wanted to bang one and wanted to curse out the other. Like, this isn't okay, you guys. Like, Erica's so free. Is that what you call your friends letting loose and getting free? Let loose is Erica was twerking on the couch or something. Okay, that's Erica getting loose. Erica did an impromptu performance of Expensive to Be Me. That is cutting loose. It isn't cutting loose. Damn, Erica cursing out kids and trying to bang Garcelle's son and throwing around a lot of microaggressions. Like, no. It was disgusting. I really like Maurizio, but I didn't like it. It wasn't a good look. I don't care how high he is or how fine he is. That wasn't cool. Okay? Then we go over to Sutton's housewarming lunch. And Sutton's house is beautiful. It's taken 2 years, but it's coming along. And we get a couple montages of everybody kind of getting ready to come. We get Garcelle, and we get our first arrival of Cherie. Gosh, it's not, I'm not going to be able to, because there's Sheree, she by Sheree, there's Cherie, whatever. So Cherie Zampino, which is the ex-wife of Will Smith. Actually, this wasn't her first, this was her second appearance, or actually she's appeared a couple times, but she came last, wasn't it last, or was it, I don't know, whatever. She was on here. But she arrives. She is so pretty. My gosh. Damn, she's so freaking gorgeous. And, they talk about what happened at the party because she's coming to Garcelle's. They go ride over to Sutton's together. And they do a little cheers about how they're going to set some bitches straight about the Erica, disrespecting Garcelle's kids. And Garcelle's like, look, I told her a little something that night, but I didn't want to get into a big thing, not in that condition. I'm going to talk to her when she's straight, when she has no alcohol in her. I'm going to go ahead and handle it when I see her in person, basically. So we go back to the housewarming. Everyone's, kind of arriving. Sutton is still getting things together. She's got her house manager there, her assistant, writing her beautiful place cards. Sutton loves her place card. Everything looks beautiful. The ground is muddy. Renna is the first to arrive, looking like a whole ass Flintstone outfit with her Versace ridiculous shoes. I don't care. I mean, look at me in my freaking H&M shirt, but like, whatever. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was fabulous. I don't care. But Garcelle and Cherie last arrive next. They're giving out drinks, champagne. Garcelle's like, no, I'm going to pass so I can handle my conversation with Erica. And I just know in her, Brenna in her head is like, would you say about my best friend? Because that's her best friend, Erica's on her way in, though, and they're showing a scene of her in the car. And she's like, do you have any classical music? And then they go to a clip of her in the confessional. And and she's like, they're like, oh, asking her about the house. She goes, look, I'm not worried about the house. I'm worried about the Haitian mama I offended. And they do a little flash to Crystal and Erica discussing what happens. And Erica's like, oh, yeah, I told her son. He's like 16. I told him to F off. Oh, we were just talking shit. And Crystal's like, girl, he's 14. She goes, oh, yeah, that changes things. No, it doesn't. You shouldn't be talking to anybody's kids like that, whether they're 14, 16, 18. The way I grew up, there's no way I would get involved in my mom's fights with her friends, and her friends, those are aunties, so whatever. But so Erica, gets there to the party after her car ride. She asks her driver to put on Christmas music, whatever. She gets there. She says no to drinks. She goes, or she actually says she's going to have one for now. She learned that she has to have one. I could tell she's kind of trying to talk to Garcelle, kind of fill her out. Garcelle's kind of giving her the shine, being a little bit cold. And they, kind of all talk a little bit about the house. We get some clips of the befores and afters. Now we get out there to the lunch area where they're going to eat, and the grass is muggy. And it looks so beautiful, the setting. And that was not lost on Renna, because Renna made a comment about how, like, that's Sutton for you, beautiful but murky situations. I'm like, isn't that you? You're a beautiful, nice looking woman, but you're messy as hell. Anyway, Diana's not there, but they start eating, and Dorita's also gets asked how she's feeling. She lets them know that she can't drive right now. She's having challenges with that. She can't be alone. And I didn't really get that at first, but she's, relating it to, the robbery, and she just isn't in a place where she wants to be alone. She's trying to get to a place where she can enjoy things like taking the kids to the park and, being present for her kids. And Sheree gives her some really encouraging words. And Sheree just seems like that person who is like gonna, sit you down and like have you a come to Jesus moment. So I'm excited to see more of her. I don't know if these girls are ready for an actual real ass person, because I feel like Garcelle's that, and it's not a vibe for them. But anyway, so they start eating. Then, they discuss why Diana's not there. And she goes, Garcelle asks Sutton, well, did she call? And Sutton says, nope, she didn't let me know, and Garcelle's like, you know what I call that? Rude. Okay. Now, if we remember, Denise did not come to Garcelle's party, of which Renna ran her ass on Twitter and was trolling about that and made some comments and had to get her ass handed to her by the girls in Dubai and had to make a backpedal and make an apology. She wasn't scared of us hoes, but I think that she got told something by, Bravo, but that's a whole nother post. But anyway, so she's talking about that, like how she didn't like that she didn't come, and that she, really feels that, she doesn't like passive aggressive. This is Sutton talking. I'm sorry. Sutton doesn't like passive aggressive behavior. And Renna's like, oh, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? And Sutton's like, what are you talking about? She goes, you don't think you're passive aggressive? Sutton's like, no. She goes, yeah, I think you are. Sutton's like, I've never been passive aggressive. Renna says, did you call Diana soulless and a motherfucker? And scene. Okay, so the show ends. First of all, Renna, calling her a motherfucker and soulless is not passive. It's extremely direct. She said it directly to her. She didn't say it in a text. She didn't say she was coming and not coming. She told her ass straight the fuck up that she thought she was those things. The same way Diana told her multiple times she's going to physically abuse her and everybody, and that she's, from Bosnia and all this stuff. So I feel like Renna, listen, it was a good episode, okay? There was a lot of problematic things. This season is something, again, we haven't even got to Kathy Hilton. And if you've been following anything, you know that there is some drama with Kathy supposedly being racist and acting a fool in Aspen. We haven't even gotten to that. And this season is delivering. It really is. With that said, I'm really like in shock about like a lot of the stuff going on off the scenes. I think there's a lot to be like, a lot of direct apologies that need to be made to people, like to Garcelle for sure, her kids, the girls of Dubai. There's a lot of excuses coming out, a lot of apologies that don't really even have the word sorry in it. It's crazy. I think that these women thought that this was going to be their punishment season to Sutton and Garcelle. You guys have to understand, Kyle, Rena, Erica, Dorit, maybe Crystal, they're not even really Crystal, but Crystal's just there. They are friends. They don't have stupid Teddy anymore to be complete their Fox Force 5, right? So they bring in powerful Diana, who off the show is that bitch apparently. You know, she's friends with Kim. She's this and that. We've heard her brag nonstop about who she is, right? So they're thinking, oh, okay, we're gonna bring down Sutton and Garcelle. They are literally, every episode is an attack on Sutton. Now Sutton's fake. Now Sutton can't even relate properly. Oh, Sutton's making up her, like it's in every episode, it's something with Sutton. They are trying to punish her for getting in Erica's ass last year, okay? It's not working. It is backfiring. It is backfiring so hard, and Sutton isn't running off. You know what? They did this to Lisa Vanderpump. Lisa Vanderpump was grieving herself. Rena wants to use an excuse about her poor ass behavior right now online because she's grieving. Where was your sympathy and the sympathy that you want us to give you and the patience and the grace to Lisa Vanderpump when she lost her brother and her mother, and you guys relentlessly went after her over that stupid ass dog of Dorit's, Juicy, Apple Juicy, Lucy Goosey, whatever her name was. I see through it. It's not working and it's backfiring, and Sutton and Garcelle are not going anywhere unless they choose to not deal with this anymore. I hope they do one more season because this is ridiculous. But we have so much more. I am back. I'm happy to recap. Let me know what you think below. Again, I thought this was a good episode. Please subscribe. Please, more importantly, leave me comments. I know this was a little long. I'm going to try to work on doing these faster because I don't know if anyone's going to sit through 30 minutes. I have like a couple subscribers, but hoping to build because this is just a place for me to talk. My husband doesn't want to hear about this, so this is just somewhere for me to talk. Some of my friends watch it, but they don't watch it the way I do. They don't watch it on blog. They don't go on Twitter. They don't know the ins and outs. Some of them, they watch it for what it is and think that's the truth. And I'm like, honey, no, that's not what's really going on. Let me tell you what's really happening. So if you're really into this and you just love Housewives, again, subscribe, comment below, tell me what you think. I can't wait for next week's episode. I can't wait for the season. This reunion is just gonna be, whoo, God, this is gonna be good. We've had so much off the show drama. Throwing the book away. Ooh, it's getting good. We're getting other franchises involved. This is delicious. Signing off once again, CMZ News. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed my recap.